was very skeptical about The Artist before I saw it. I had heard about it. I knew that it was a silent film. I knew vaguely what the story was, but I didn't know enough, and that is why I was skeptical. When I heard it was doing very well and on track to maybe be nominated for an Oscar, I thought, you know what? This is bad news. If a silent film gets nominated for an Oscar in 2011, that's like Hollywood admitting they suck. However, after seeing the film, I realized I was completely wrong because it's not just a silent film. The silent film aspect of it is a metaphor for the story, and that changes everything. The story is about a silent film star who refuses to adapt to the ever-changing culture, and of course, specifically, talking pictures, where sound came into play. And he thinks that that's not going to happen, that's not going to go anywhere, and he is adamant about sticking with silent films, and of course, over the few years that the film takes place during, he realizes that people would like to see talking pictures, and he kind of isn't doing too well. The silent film aspect of it, what we're seeing today in 2011 as a silent film, is a really hardcore metaphor of his refusal to move on and adapt and accept change. And it was really, really excellent. And I would say the Oscar buzz is appropriate. So the storyline itself, like I said, is really interesting. It's really great. I'm into film. I love films about film, like, you know, kind of like the behind the scenes of the early cinema. And I think that's really cool. And so it's, first of all, it's interesting to see that. Second of all, to see the change from silent film to talking pictures, even though that wasn't necessarily the focus of it. We weren't, you know, it was a film about the character, not about necessarily, you know, the history of cinema. But it was very cool to see that. And I think that the storyline with the characters was really, really great. We've got the main character. Now, by the way, I'm not going to say any actors' names because I don't want to mispronounce anything, which I will. But George and Peppy, their storyline, where George is the kind of the outgoing and Peppy is the incoming, I thought that was very interesting. It's kind of a cool generational gap storyline. Their relationship was interesting, and I thought that was just really well done. I thought it was a very unique story, one of the most unique stories I've seen in a long time. And the way that they did it, like I said, the fact that it's a silent film and that being a metaphor, I thought that was just fantastic. Like I said, I was skeptical going in, but afterward, I absolutely loved it. And I just thought that was a really, really brilliant idea. It assumes you're intelligent, which is great. It doesn't pander to its audience or anything. It doesn't jam the dialogue title cards, whatever you want to call them, down your throat. It doesn't give one for every single thing that's said. It only gives it when it's necessary. When you, as an audience member, can't figure out what they're saying. You need to know. It's part of the story. But otherwise, you can figure out most of it, which I thought was amazing. Acting-wise, I thought the acting was fantastic. Peppy was great. John Goodman was great. Everybody was great, but specifically George. He was unbelievable, and he absolutely deserves recognition for this role. He had to convey so much without words, and he did brilliantly. And I just was absolutely blown away by his performance. It really, seriously was incredible. John Goodman was great, too. It was very odd to see people you recognize, though, from... Like, I didn't recognize the other actors, but I recognized John Goodman, so it was very odd to see him, but I bought it, and it was fine. And like I said, Peppy I thought was great. First of all, she's adorable. She's absolutely adorable. She looked like she just jumped out of the 20s. It's incredible. And all of them did, really. John Goodman less so, because I know him. But everybody overall I thought did an excellent job. And the last major component of the film that I have to discuss, of course, is the music. Now, I am aware that music was used from other films, such as Vertigo, like they borrowed scores and stuff like that for this film, and I have to say I'm a total hypocrite about stuff like this, because sometimes I can't stand when that happens, and other times, like Kick-Ass, for example, not to compare Kick-Ass and The Artist, although they both did borrow music from other movies, Kick-Ass borrowed music from other movies, and I thought they did an amazing job with that. Also, in The Artist, I thought they did a great job with that. So, I'm a total hypocrite about that. I'd love to know what you guys think about reusing music and stuff, though, so let me know about that in the comments. And overall, I loved The Artist. I thought the whole concept of it being a silent film as a metaphor for his refusal to move on and adapt was a great idea, and I'm so happy that I went to see it without just continuing to be skeptical about it and not seeing it for some reason. So I'm really glad I saw it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. And now I'm going to talk about some spoilers, so if you have not seen The Artist, please do not watch the rest of this video. Click the annotation that just popped up to get out of here, and after you see the film, you can come back and continue. So I'm going to talk about just two quick things, and I mean, I'm sure you know what I'm going to talk about here. The scenes with sound. Now, of course, there's the nightmare sequence, which I thought was incredible. I was in shock when he put the glass down, and I heard it, and I was like, what? What the hell just happened? That was awesome. And then the ending, when you finally hear, for the first time, the voices, and you find out that George has an accent, and I guess that's why he didn't want to talk in the talkies. But I thought that was great, very well done, and it ended awesomely. I love the fact that was like, once again, of course, going along with the metaphor, showing that he was moving on into the next dimension. That's not the right word, but you get what I mean. And just overall, once again, loved The Artist. I'd love to know what you guys think about it, though, so please let me know down in the comments what you thought of anything about The Artist. If you're going to talk about anything spoilerish, though, like about the fact that there's sound in it at some points, please put a spoiler tag so that people hopefully don't see it and have it ruined for themselves. I consider that a spoiler. I wouldn't have wanted to know before I go in, so please be mindful of others. Let me know anything you thought about The Artist, and that's pretty much it.